Aimy, this is Aimy and this is Mick. And Mick was my student at KPIS. How many years ago?
2 years ago.
You produced an amazing portfolio at the end in order to get into architecture school. And Aimy is an architect working for a firm?
Yes.
Where?
Near Payathai.
And basically, what kind of architecture are you doing there?
Actually, it's kind of like interior, more like interior design.
Interior
Yes.
design. So you have big clients?
Yeah, quite.
Quite, huh? So you made 2 rings that were based on what idea? Tell the idea that you had originally, which isn't easy actually.
Yes. So, what is it called?
Mobius.
Mobius strip.
A Mobius strip, right?
So I want something like simple, but kind of have like a modern style.
Where did you learn about Mobius strips? Oh, you didn't? I thought it was part of your curriculum at school. What Emmy's talking about is making a Mobius strip ring. So I'm taking a piece of paper here and a scissors, and I'm going to cut the piece of paper into a strip as even as I possibly can to make it look neat. What happens with the Mobius strip is as the paper comes around to touch itself, it twists in space like this. And that's a Mobius strip, okay? So technically has one surface. So if you follow this around, you're going to wind up on the inside and on the outside. So as you come around it, you go from the inside to the outside. Now there's another form that's very interesting. It's in 3 dimensions called a Klein bottle. And a Klein bottle, the inside again becomes the outside. And you can look up a Klein bottle to see what it looks like. It's a very, very interesting form. And a lot of philosophies are about this because they deal with time and space. And that's where we talk about a reverse universe. A reverse universe. Do you get that? You learned it from him, this idea of a Mobius strip.
He showed me some pictures. I like it.
There's actually a philosophy. It's tied into yin and yang and a lot of other things, you know, because it's a world like a philosophy of a circular idea of life and death. Tell me what your impression was after coming back after all these years, 2 years.
Impression? Well, it was, most of the things were like, I forgot some of the stuff, but when I started working, it's definitely the memories and the muscle memories came back quite quick.
I'm afraid Aimy will never come back because it was more work than she ever believed. Is that true? Was it more work?
It's harder than I thought.
Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's the shape that you chose that makes it difficult to do it, you know, to make it circular and still twist in space. So that's hard. Mobius strips are not easy. They're easy to do with paper, but in metal to make it conform to a perfect circle, not easy to do, you know, and not easy to polish, as you found out, right? Did the machines frighten you?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, I noticed that whenever you used a machine, you were a little bit shy about it. And what was your impression of the whole thing? You're coming into this fresh for the very first time in your whole life.
Yeah. So the work, it's a bit hard because it needs like a detail and really concentrate on the details. I'm like afraid that I'm gonna like break or fail at something.
Were there any surprises in the process for you?
The surprise that is too many process.
Oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Like one ring. Like
It didn't have to be like
crazy.
this. I mean, he could have made his band. Actually, I would never have to help him. He made many rings in my class, so he's very used to everything. And if you were just making a simple band with a design on it, or even a constructive thing like those things that were very complex that I showed you, you could actually make it in 2 hours. It's not that difficult. But that's difficult because it's so simple. That sounds like a parody, doesn't it? But because that has to be, you know, and you want to spread that twist out in space, it's hard to do. Actually, you just sort of locate it in one place. But to have it go slowly around to the other side, wow, that's very difficult. Any other impressions that you got, Mick?
Impressions of the workshop. Let's start with.
Well, yeah. How was it to work in here?
Well, the workshop has all the things I needed to make a ring. Like this is the example of the ring. So it's basically a textured band with a slit or a carved out clawed texture, whatever you want to call it. So your workshop has all the tools I need to make this in a very quick manner.
Well, can I tell one thing in this video? I wanted to say that Mickey had this idea of modeling the surface. I've never had anybody do it. I've done it, but I've never done it. And actually, when I saw the burrs that we used cutting the metal, I got into it. I really wanted to do it. Now I want to do a ring like this where I just carve, you know, like you're sculpting a surface of the moon. And that's what this ring. And then something else you threw into it that I had no idea. You put a crevice in the middle, right? How did you do that? How did you make the crevice?
I used the burr that has like a very thin edge, and then I just slowly lined out the outline, and then changed the burr into a deeper one, and then just went into it.
And so that's, and the danger in that when you're doing it, that it catches and it walks across the metal in a direction that you never planned to go in. But this is very beautiful. I can hold it up on the camera. I don't think the camera can pick this up, but it's very beautiful. It's very individual. And I would ask you, you know, I would think that you hammered that to get that surface, but you modeled it with a burr. So that's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming here. I really appreciate you coming back. You know, and just a few months ago, I had a student who had me 23 years ago. I had him at ISB. He's 42 years old now.
Oh my.
And I had him at ISB, and I thought that was pretty amazing.
42, that's twice my age.
And it's twice your age. He's into making wood structures. He's Thai.
Oh.
And that was really amazing. I've had 4 people come back to me after I taught at ISB when in their 40s, when they were 40 years old. It's pretty amazing. Anyhow, thanks for coming. I'm so appreciative
Glad to see you again.
that you came again. If you ever want to come back and do another day, you can.
Sure.
I really appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.